coming to you from an unknown location, at the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, bringing you the unknown. Welcome to another spine-tingling episode of Paranormal 411. Your hosts are David Reagan and Jason Scott, and together, they dive headfirst into the mysteries that lurk just beyond our understanding, featuring notable experts ready to share their insights into the world of the strange and unknown. So pull up a chair, pour a cup of something warm, and prepare to be enthralled. Here at Paranormal 411, we're not just a radio show, we're a community of truth seekers, adventurers of the mind, exploring the boundaries of the known and unknown. We invite you to join us, to share your thoughts, your experiences, your questions. Whether you've had your own encounter with the supernatural or you're simply intrigued by the inexplicable, we want to hear from you. So, don't be shy. Drop a comment and let's unravel the mysteries of the universe together. Buckle up as we journey beyond the veil of the ordinary, into the heart of the extraordinary. This is Paranormal 411, where the inexplicable meets reality and imagination takes flight. Stay tuned and remember, in the world of the paranormal, nothing is as it seems.
All right.
All right.
Welcome to this episode of Paranormal 411.
Thank you for being here. And Jason, did you have a good day?
I did. I had a pretty good day today.
I did. It's been a busy day for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got busy after lunch, but all in all, went good.
Yeah, that's good.
We got a great show tonight.
Oh man, you better stick around for the ending. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
A whole hour.
We have Nancy Thames.
It's gonna be great.
Yes.
If you like talking about extraterrestrials and stuff and hearing about it, tonight's your night. So now if you want to find us, you can do that at paranormal411.org, Paranormal 411 on Facebook, YouTube, and X. You could also tune in live every Tuesday and Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Saturdays from 8 to 10 Eastern Time. Now, if you're in the metro Atlanta area, you can catch us on WDJY-FM. That's 99.1 FM. For listeners outside of Atlanta, you could still listen to us. It's at WDJYFM.com, or you click the link on our website at paranormal411.org. Now, that's at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Saturday. We're also on Subspace Radio and all major podcast platforms. Now, don't miss our new book, East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore, Edition 2. This is a hardback copy. See how pretty that is? That's a pretty book.
You can grab that on Amazon.
Yeah, get that on Amazon, or you go to paranormal411.org.
Oh, yeah.
Join us.
Yeah, and leave a review if you buy it from Amazon. Yeah,
please. We've sold tons of books and have like seven or 8 reviews. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a review. It helps Amazon say, hey, they must like this book, and they help put it out for us.
Right.
So then we don't have to buy as many ads.
Right. And remember, we will be at Riverfest Saturday, August the 17th.
Yes.
Starting at 5 p.m. They're going to have fireworks. They're going to be doing a lot of things here in Loudon.
Then we're also going to be at the Screamfest, right?
Screamfest in September.
Yep.
And
hopefully we're going to be in October, going to be in Crossville.
Yeah. Upper Cumberland Bigfoot Festival.
Yeah. So hope to see everybody there.
Yes.
Be
also on YouTube, I just put up the video.
Oh, the one that we've been waiting for 2 months?
Yeah, the one we've been waiting for 2 months. I put the video up from our investigation of the farmhouse.
Yeah.
So it's up if you want to check it out.
We had a good investigation. It was a good paranormal investigation. It was fun. So,
but tonight we have Nancy Thames.
Oh man.
She's a former Department of Defense employee and a lifelong contactee of interdimensional extraterrestrial beings. Has emerged as a significant voice in the realm of alien disclosure and spiritual awakening. Her journey, marked by personal struggles, transformed profoundly through her continuous extraterrestrial encounters. These experiences, initially she suppressed them, were eventually embraced as Nancy began to understand their purpose in her life for humanity. She has come to the decisive conclusion it's time for disclosure. Her dedication to this cosmic narrative propelled her to create timefordisclosure.com. So you need to go look at that website too. We're going to bring her on. Hey, Nancy.
Hi. How are y'all?
Good.
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Thank you. I appreciate you having me on your show. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah.
We've been looking forward to it.
Yes, we have.
Thank you. I appreciate that. This is my favorite subject, as you can imagine.
I wouldn't know why. No,
Well, I know. No particular reason.
Right? So this started for you young, right? Early?
Yes, it did. I now know that it was from my very birth, but my first, the conscious memories that I recall are from around 2 to 3 years old. And at that point in my life, the world had not influenced me in any way. So it simply was just, it was fun. I was not scared. It was just beautiful interactions and very playful. And they made a point to make me feel loved and comfortable. And it was continued on that way, and there were times that I would bring up to my mother and father or and say that there were beings running around in my room, and they would just say, go back to bed. And they associated it with just a very vivid imagination or, a dream. So they just dismissed it, and I dismissed it. And so, it continued on that way. But when I got to about junior high or high school, at that point, I was reading books. I was looking at magazines. I was drifting over in the bookstore, looking at books that pertain to these topics. And I figured out real quick that not just my family didn't really, want me to talk about this out in public. But I realized that even people in a bookstore, if you walked up on them and they were in the section where they have ETs or anything like this, they were embarrassed for you to walk up on them. And they would just jump and say, oh, I'm in the wrong place, and then turn around and walk off. So, I grew up in Tennessee. Tennessee is part of the Bible Belt. And it simply was considered demonic, or it was considered a mental health issue. And neither one is, well received. And my family point blank told me, you cannot talk about these kind of things at school, Girl Scouts, or even with other family members, because they don't want to talk about this and they don't want to hear about it. So I learned very quickly to suppress it. Yeah.
Yeah, we understand where you're coming from there, because like we was talking earlier, we started this in 2012, and we got ridiculed like crazy from family members. Just a lot of people thought we were nuts.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, even my family are like, "What? Don't put yourself out there to get the ridicule." They didn't know if I would be strong enough to handle it. But for me, I was always told by the interdimensionals and extraterrestrials that I would know when the time is right. And I realize now that, I'm 64 years old now, and I've been doing this since my birth. So they have been teaching me, training me to be able to do what I'm doing and put myself out there. And I don't care what people think. And I don't care. And I don't say that anybody should believe me. I'm telling you from my heart what I've experienced and what I know, because I do have face-to-face contact interactions with extraterrestrials and interdimensionals. And when I say that, I mean, I hold hands, I embrace them, they embrace me. I touch their face, I touch their arms. I like to feel the temperature of their skin, and they do the same with me. But it was a long process for me to get to that point. And I was talking about, as I got into junior high and high school, I was influenced by what I had read. I was influenced by what I had seen on the television. So I began to experience anxiety and fear, wondering, well, am I understanding what's happening to me? Why are all these other people saying all these horrible things? And so at that point, my experiences changed. when they started sensing my fear, my anxiety, my dread about the interaction, I noticed that they would, because they're telepathic, they know everything I feel. Just like we when they give me messages or we have a conversation, it's telepathic, but they also sense my feelings, and everything that I feel, they feel it 10 times the amount, because they come from higher realms, higher dimensions. In their realms, there is no negativity. There is no fear. There is no drama. There is no crying. There is no anger. So, these are things that they have evolved over billions of years over us in evolution. But those type negative things disappear as you evolve into higher realms. There is no negativity, there is no anger, there is no wars, et cetera, et cetera. So when they are trying to interact with us, they do not care for these feelings that they're getting off of us. So they will touch us on the forehead or use their consciousness and put us in a blacked out trance-like state. And we're fully functional, but we don't remember the experience. And that's why you have people that come back and talk about missing time or fragmented memories, because they do not care for these feelings of negativity, fear, drama, anger, et cetera, et cetera. So they just block it out. And it makes it easier for you because they're there for a mission, a task. They are not here to play. They're not here to experiment. They're checking on our evolution. They're checking on just seeing how far we have evolved, what our spiritual growth is. They're checking on our physical well-being to see what toxins we are being exposed to, within our environment, within our water, within everything, because everything that we're exposed to, food, air, water, even what we listen to a lot of times, the toxicity in our news media, we are exposed to so many toxins and things. So they're checking on our well-being and health. So the point is that I'm trying to make, or one of the points, we'll put it that way, is that most people are blocked. Their memory is blocked, but the last thing they remember is extreme fear, and that is real. I experienced it. Fear is very, very real. And it is a fear like no other kind of fear. It's not just like the fear of falling off a bed, a fear of falling off the bunk, a fear of falling off a hill or a mountain. This is super duper fear. And the reason why is because it is not what extraterrestrials and interdimensionals look like. It is the frequency exchange between a human being and an interdimensional or an extraterrestrial. And that frequency exchange is overwhelming to our brain. We do not know what to do with this feeling. This is nothing that you experience here on Earth. And the only way, the closest thing I can think of to try to describe it is like it's between extreme fear and extreme euphoric feeling. So it's all balled up into one. So your brain is like, what, it's like trying to figure out. So it gets scared and it automatically jumps into like survival mode. And so they sense this and they tap you out because, some humans become aggressive when they get angry or upset. So they quickly tap you out when they sense that, because they're here to do their mission. They're here to do their function. They're not here to negotiate or whatever. And they know, just like I know, and just like I think our government knows, that in time that we all as human beings will figure out that this was part of our evolution. What they're doing is helping and assisting, getting us in preparation, and also monitoring to see how close we are. And we are smack dab into a ascension and a evolutionary process. And we are turning into better human beings. And what I mean by that is that we are in a 3D realm and we are gradually moving out into the 4th or 5th dimension. And these dimensions are not physical places or locations. These places are simply higher levels of consciousness. And in this realm that we're in, we only use our five senses to understand the world and the universe around us. These things are expanding. Our awareness, our intelligence is expanding. We're going beyond the five senses into having intuitions, noticing synchronicities, and also becoming a little bit psychic. And these things will not happen overnight. It has to be done in a very slow process because it would overload the human brain. So it's just like with our creation, our ascension and moving up into higher realms of understanding and awareness and intelligence has to be slow because this is a worldwide phenomenon. This is not about me. This is not about just the United States. This is not about people that are only interested in the paranormal or ufology. This is a worldwide phenomenon. So it has to be done in a beautiful, divine way, very slow. And by the time we get to the end of this phase or move into these dimensions, it will seem like our world has always been this way because of the beautiful way it has proceeded and done. So this is needed and has to occur because we are at a pivotal moment in this realm that we're in, the 3D realm. It is the realm where all negativity, wars, and anything evil can occur. There is a group of dark human forces that would love for us to never leave this realm because they are major megaton rich elites that control all these things. They control our governments, our banking systems, our religions, pharmaceutical companies, all these different things. And they make a lot of decisions and they keep us using fossil fuels. So anyway, so what is happening here is that we are going through this ascension. They do not want us to, because once we become more intelligent and more aware of what's going on around us and what is being done to us, we will realize that for eons, humanity has been manipulated and controlled by these elites, and it has held us back from reaching ascension sooner. So they don't want us to ascend, but it's too bad. We are, and we are going to see dramatic changes throughout our planet. Not just every individual on this planet is a part of this awakening or ascension. And as I like to say, we are the true disclosure. Human beings, we are the true disclosure. And what's so unique is that we're finally going to understand who we are, our uniqueness, our true origins, and understand the world around us. We can only see so far with our visual range in 3D, but there's life going on all around us. And we're finally our scientists are already telling us all these things. Plants are living conscious beings. Our planet Earth is a living conscious being.
Yep.
All these things are living conscious beings. And we don't see it, but that doesn't mean that things aren't alive. So as we evolve, we're going to start becoming more aware. And what used to be spooky or paranormal or weird or woo-woo will no longer be the case, because we will all start to experience these things. And, it has to be done because we are at a pivotal point to where if we do not change and accept changes, it could be the end of our civilization. And I don't want that to happen. And extraterrestrials and interdimensionals do not want this to happen, because we have the capacity to change into being better beings, making better decisions, taking better care of our planet, ourselves, and all living conscious beings on it. So it's amazing to me.
Do you think that, or do you know if they're actually aiding in this ascension, or is this something that we are doing just from an evolutionary state, or is it
it is part of our evolution, and all of it depends on us. We have to do this individually, look within, work within, focus on ourselves, try to be a better human being. With that said, we are human. We're not perfect. There's nothing ever going to be perfect, but we have to make an effort, to try to be better human beings. So they are here, and they started coming in here right before we had the pandemic. And they started noticing that people's frequencies were raising on this planet. And so they started coming here in very large numbers. And they do put frequencies around our planet of love, unity, oneness, because we are all one and we are connected. We have lost our connections, but we are all connected. When this planet was created and we were put here, all living conscious beings and things were put here, and we're all here to support each other. And that doesn't mean that we have to all become vegetarian. That does not mean that we're not supposed to not eat plants and things like that. What it means is that everything was put here to help support us, including all things in a medicinal form. We shouldn't even be using pharmaceutical synthetic drugs, because everything we need was put here for us. But we're sitting, the powers that be are sitting on all this technology, preventing us from having longer lifespans, preventing us from having diseases, preventing us. We should not have poverty on our planet. We should not be paying for energy. We should not be dying of diseases. We should be living longer lives. Our air, our water, all these things, our food should not have toxins in them. But these things were done intentional to keep us dumbed down, and to also, it's a form of population control. We have very short lifespans because they cannot make money off of healthy, intelligent human beings. So this is our chance. This is our big chance to make the changes. And it cannot happen overnight, and we'll never be perfect. That's part of being human. But we can make lots of changes, and it's going to require new ways of thinking and new ways of living, because since the moment we were born, we've been programmed to think negative, or to think that certain things can't be done. But I'm here to tell you they can be done. We just have to make an effort towards it. It may not be perfect, but we can get as close to perfect as we possibly can.
Yeah.
On the topic of the origins of humans, the human race, do you know the origin?
Well, what they say to me is that they played a part in our creation. They do not claim that they did it all, and that we are a combination of many different races, and we are very unique because of that. We have lots of things in our DNA that has not even begun to activate, because our pineal glands have been shrunk down from all the toxins, fluorides, toxins in our water, toxins in the air, everywhere, our food, everything. These things were all done intentionally to keep us at this dumbed down state. We're easier to control and manipulate and play into the narratives of the elites who make mega bucks off of us. Yeah. And we don't even get to enjoy our human experience. And what people don't realize is that we all chose to come to Earth and be here at this time. When we come to Earth, it is erased. Our memories are erased from where our soul comes from, or what our soul purpose is here. Okay. That is erased. But I've had the privilege to be shown these things by the interdimensionals and extraterrestrials. We all chose to be here, and we came here with a purpose. So here we are now. We're all here. We all knew ahead of time this was going to happen while we were here on Earth, and all of us are here to play a part. That's why I say we are all the disclosure. It's just a matter of us waking up and realizing who we are and our part into this. And we are going to go down in history as being the generation that made a change for our generation and future generations on what the human experience is, because it can change and be a beautiful thing. And we can learn to use our technology, even this, what people consider scary technology, which it is not. It is always going to be whoever it's in the hands of, but it is a man-made tool, and we have to keep it as a man-made tool and use it with our intelligence to help all of humanity, not just a select few using it for wrong in various reasons. So, and it can be used for the betterment of all humans. And, it will not take away jobs. It will create beautiful jobs we've never even thought of that will all stimulate our world. And visions that they've showed me is that we will not call jobs. We will call it service to self, service to my family. It will be more of a thing that you love, and it will not be labeled as jobs. And it may not be the extended hours, but we'll have the same benefits. But we can use AI to do a lot of manual work and to generate a lot of income for our society if done in the right way for humanity. And then we can learn where it will dispense certain things to families so that we can still be a part of the community, but it'll be things that we love to do, and we can focus more on our human experience and with our families, which we should be enjoying more of. So they've shown me visions of this, and I know it sounds like, oh, that's just insane or it can't be done. But you know what? It can be done. And you have to look at it this way. If we do not change, this could be the end of our human race. Or if we don't completely wipe it out, we could change the course to where it is, our quality of life is a lot worse than what it is right now. We could definitely go backwards. So this is part of our evolution and our opportunity to change and be better humans, be the better version of ourselves. So, it's pretty much cut and dry, and they're up. The extraterrestrials, interdimensionals are up here just hoping that we get this right. And I'm here hoping to get out information so we can get this right and let people start working on themselves and raising their frequency to be a better person within. And then that will expand out from, once we do it to ourselves, then it will branch out to our family and then our friends. And when you raise your frequency, it feels really good. And it's almost contagious to other people around you. And I think if people will just try this, you'll see, because it's like people that go running for long periods of time, and they do this because they get an adrenaline rush. When you raise your frequency, it feels good, just like that does. And it's like your body is rewarding you for you working on your inner soul self, because that's what we're here is to figure out why we're here, who we are, who we truly are, our soul self. Yeah.
Wow. I know it reminds me a lot. We've had a few star seeds on the show.
Right.
I think wasn't Hassan one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was with like the Galactic Federation. Have you ever heard of that? Of the Galactic?
I have.
Do you some of the things you're saying goes right along with what he was saying as well.
I doubt it. I
Really?
doubt it.
I mean, as far as
I'll tell you why.
as far as enlightenment.
Yeah, you're right about that. You're right. But I am around interdimensionals and extraterrestrials. In their reality, they're telepathic. We talk telepathically. They do not use names and labels because we are one. We are all connected. And in unity, we're unstoppable. So in their reality, and this is what they teach us that we need to be, or what we were created to be, in their reality, they are all one. By putting names and labels on things, that is individualizing things. That is separation. They do not believe in separation. They believe in unity and oneness. So they do not use names. They do not label things. So I think the problem is that humans try to humanize things to, some people do it to sell books, make movies, et cetera, et cetera. Some people do it because that's their version of rationalizing their experience, like saying, because when they're sitting there trying to explain to somebody, they'll, like, for example, I could say, this is true. I am bonded with a female gray. Okay. And I could sit here and say her name is Bonnie, but that would be a lie. We do not exchange names. Her frequency is her signature. Her frequency is who she is. And to them, I am not Nancy. I am my frequency. That is my signature. We are telepathic. We don't have to say being telepathic. You don't say, oh, this is Nancy. I mean, it's already understood. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a frequency, and it's like a signature or a fingerprint. Everybody's frequency is different. So all these names and labels, just, I don't know why people do that unless they're trying to humanize things, for different reasons. And I'm not going to say that everybody does it intentionally or whatever, because some people, they have to find some way to deal with these things. You know what I'm saying? They have to rationalize in their mind, because that's what our brain tries to do. And that's not their fault. That's just their reasoning. So, I know that's a touchy subject, but that's what I'm here for, is to clear up misinformation and get the truth out there. And I think that it's pretty much coming out now that the government's saying it in roundabout ways, if not totally, but extraterrestrials are interdimensionals too.
Yep. None
of them are in our 3D realm.
Right.
And see, a lot of times in the past, we've tried to say, Venetians are from Venus, Martians are from Mars, grays are from wherever, because we're picking things that we know and we can see in the constellation or our solar system, but that's not the reality. The reality is they are all from a different realm than we are. They are not human, and they have no human-like ways. They are billions of years ahead of us in evolution, and we are like children to them. And if they wanted to hurt or destroy us, we wouldn't be having this conversation. It would have already happened, because they were here before we were.
Yep.
So I know that's a lot, but
that's good.
No, I mean, it just
I was
goes
hoping
along with
David
stuff.
would save me because I asked a pretty touchy question. I didn't.
It's not that. It's just that, for me, I know a lot, and sometimes, I've known a lot for a long time, but I'm like, I wonder, whose toes am I going to step on? Because, a lot of people have written books, and a lot of people have made movies, and a lot of people done this, that, and the other, but I don't know the reasons behind why they did all that. And I'm not attacking everybody, but I'm telling the truth.
Right.
And I have face-to-face contact, with them, and they give me this information, and I know where they come from, and that's why I'm here. I came to Earth to do this, and my children did as well. My children, 2 sons, have experiences, downloads, and they gifted the oldest one and I Kundalini awakenings to speed up this process, so we would get out and vocalize and get out to the world. And for me, my focus is the whole world. I'm doing later tonight, I'm doing a podcast in Japan, because this is not about me. This is not about, this is a worldwide phenomenon. This is a worldwide evolutionary process.
Right.
And that is my sole purpose, is to get information out to humanity. Truthful things. They need to hear truthful things. They need to look within, start figuring out who they are. And as we go through this evolutionary process, your own subconscious, your own mind will give you the answers. You won't need me. You won't need the government. You won't need anybody, because we all chose to be here. And this is part of our evolution, is waking up, understanding who we are, and we will start understanding the world around us much, much better. And it won't happen overnight. It has to be done in a unique divine way, because our brains have to be able to understand all this. And
Right.
some people will wake up quicker than others. That's part of it too. Yeah.
Well, I know. So Jason brought up a past guest that was on, and he described the beings also, as interdimensional, and but there's also lower dimensional beings, and he said that a lot of those beings are here to try to bring down the vibration for us not to ascend.
I
And-
think that I don't think none of them, let's just put it this way, none of them are demonic. None of them are working against humanity. A lot of people think that some that work with the government or whatever may have been doing it for various reasons. But when we come to Earth, we choose to be here.
Mhm.
And we also make what's called soul contracts, okay? Which means we have a say in what we're going to experience here on Earth, because coming to Earth is a school, okay?
Mm-hmm.
This is a school. This is a place to learn, a place to have experiences. So in the process of a soul contract, a lot of people make agreements to be part of this evolutionary process with the extraterrestrials and interdimensionals. And they don't remember this when they come to Earth. I didn't remember that I was incarnated here, and I am what's called a interplanetary soul. I came here from the interdimensional realm. I incarnated here. I did not remember it. So when I was 30 years old, they opened up a blue orb and showed me the vision of myself making the agreement to come here and be a part of this evolutionary process. And at the time when I was 30, did I see it and hear it? Yes. Did I understand it all? No.
Right.
No, because I grew up in Tennessee. At that point in my life, what I thought and knew was that when we die, we're 6 foot under the ground, because that's what I was told growing up. If you were bad, you're going to hell. If you're good, you'll go to heaven. But, we're down there under the ground until that decision is made. So I just dealt with these things the best I could. But as I got older and they worked with me, and then they finally gave me the Kundalini awakening, which opened my subconscious up into my human conscious, then it was all, put together and pieced together. So basically what I'm saying is that we all make agreements to come here. And some of it was to have interactions and to be part of the evolutionary change for human beings, to have a better human experience in our futures. So, and when we die, by the way, we are immortal. Our soul and our consciousness, this body or vessel we're in, it's gone. It's time's up. But our soul and our consciousness move on to our source, wherever our soul came from, whether it be interplanetary, whether it be angelic, whether it be an earth-based soul. And then when we get there, we have choices on what we do next. So this is just a beginning of just an experience, a temporary vessel that we're in. And we have much more things going on after we leave Earth. Some of us will come back. Some of us will do something else. Some of us will decide to stay in a non-physical body and stay up in the highest dimension that goes well beyond 12 that we know of, and be up around creator source, because extraterrestrial and interdimensionals believe in a creator source, and they all have souls. So there's so much that we have to learn as human beings, and we're just at the beginning of understanding all this. And I sincerely promise you that I think the government knows what I know.
Mhm.
And why should they come out and tell us all these things when they know that we're going through ascension and an evolutionary process? We're all going to be waking up and understanding and realizing most of these things, the questions that we won't answer about who we are, where we're from, and some of the things about extraterrestrials and interdimensionals and their interactions with us. So I don't blame them. Why not jump out here and be the first one, the first government to expose the vulnerabilities of our government? All of us look to our government to protect us. And for them to say these interdimensionals and extraterrestrials are all interdimensionals, they're not from our rim, and we have nothing. Our physics does not apply, our technology does not apply, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I wouldn't do that. And I wouldn't want to be the first government to expose myself to the other countries of this vulnerability, because that just makes them look, because they can just act like they can say anything. So anyway, what I'm saying is that all of these things are going to be known in due time due to who we are and our process of evolution. And that's why they always tell me, be patient, let evolution do its job, and just tell humanity to work on themselves individually. And if we work on ourselves, we can solve most of our problems.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm a firm believer in a person looking in and working on themselves. I've tried to start doing that for the last couple of years myself.
Yeah.
And
it's not that hard to do either.
No, the hardest process is learning to get past your ego. That's the hardest process, and because we're raised in a society where everything is me. I have this. This is mine. And so it's all the ego, and if you could dissolve that ego, then you're where we need to be.
Well, that's the beauty of evolution, is that a lot of that is built into our DNA. As the way they express it to me, we're going up this DNA ladder. Okay. As we're going up the ladder, bit by bit, not overnight, bit by bit, little bits of ego drop off, little bits of negativity drop off, warlike ways and tendencies drop off, evil drops off. And this is the way it occurred for them billions of years ago. And this is the way it has occurred in other beings throughout galaxies and universes. So this is nothing new to them. And that's why they're trying to assist us. They're not here to control. They're not here to take over. They're here to assist us because they know us, everything about us. I am an incarnate from them. Everything that I witness and see, I am their eyes. They know. And there's other people, I'm pretty sure, like me. There's many, many races up there watching us, not just one or two. There's many extraterrestrial races, interdimensional races watching us. And I'm sure that they've got people that have incarnated all over different parts of the world that are reaching out to humanity and trying to help get people to be more positive and work on their inner soul self. Get in touch with your subconscious. Ask your subconscious to open up into your human consciousness and work with you and help you to understand the changes going on in our world and to understand the truths. When we're faced with all these different things, help them to, follow your heart, follow your intuition, follow your subconscious knows all these things, and it will help you if you can get in tune with it and ask it to help you, and it will help you to know which directions to lean towards. That's the way I do it anyway.
Right.
So, do you think that you said I'm gonna go back to creation?
Oh,
Okay.
Sorry, but You said the creator source. Are we all connected to
Absolutely.
that one source?
Yes. Yes.
Now, is this the same source as some people call God?
Well, our version of God is a construct of humans. Creator source is the creator of all things, and there are no religions in there. We are all one. We are all connected. So it's everything.
Mm-hmm.
And creator source never uses fear or anything negative to try to lead you in his path or his or her or its path. Yeah. So does that answer your question?
Yes. Get you 100%. I do.
Okay. It's of a pure nature. Yeah.
Another question is, do you think we will see, like in this century, say in 25, 50 years, do you think we'll see a change?
I think we're already seeing it. I already see it, but I'm looking for it. Every day I'm looking for it. So yes, we will. We are changing right this very minute. We are changing. And whether you realize it or not, we're all getting better. We're getting better. We're becoming more aware. We're having these discussions. And everywhere you look, there's indications of consciousness, vibrational or frequencies. All these things are very, very important because it is our frequency that defines really who we are. And as we raise our frequencies, the closer we get to the cosmic realm, the closer we get intelligence and awareness that we understand more and more. We see more and more, and we understand more and more. And we will realize that these old program ways that you were talking about, like the ego, negativity and stuff, we will realize these ways no longer serve us. And we are humans that are looking at our future generations. We are a human race that is looking at our longevity of our species, and it is becoming priority to us. And, I think we're beyond thinking, we're beyond thinking that, this probably won't happen in our lifetime, so we'll just let the next generation deal with this. This is happening. It is happening. And it is no longer time, there's no longer, we can't put these things on the back burner anymore. It is the time, and we have to start now because we can do as much as we can to help ourselves. But what we're doing is we're the stepping stones for the future. And that's why I think we'll go down in history as making major changes that will change the whole course of what the human experience is. And we have that potential, and I believe we can do it. A lot of people say, no, we can't. Yes, we can. Because we got evolution on our side, and we have higher realms just sitting there waiting for their children to grow up. And it's time for us to grow up. Yeah.
I agree with that.
I know it's hard, but we can do it.
I think that, like you said before, I think that we were on a really good path for a very long time, but there has been a lot of things that have distracted that path or inhibited that path in the past.
Greed and money.
Yes, and power, right?
Yes.
The three really bad things, and man's lust for power really supersedes a lot of other things because they will do anything that they can to grab that power and to take other people's I don't know, whatever you want to say, life force, just take these things from them to where they no longer they only serve one purpose, and that's to make me more money.
Exactly. And we are all one, we are all connected, and we have to work together in unity. And we've got to fall back on these things and remember our connections to each other. And I think we're going to start leaning more that way as we evolve and go through this ascension. And if nothing else happens, if we just work on being better human beings, our quality of life will become better because we will feel better. When our bodies feel better, we are healthier, we are happy. So we can eliminate depression, we can eliminate diseases, or sickness and different things. So our quality of life will be so much better, and our outlooks on things. So I see it already occurring. And and another thing is that you've got to learn to not focus on the negative things. The negative things will always be there. They're still there in some places because we don't all evolve at the same time. Right. But don't put all your focus and attention on it. And the more people that steer away from this negative, or negative media, negative wars, negative people, the more you walk away from it, they have nobody or nothing to perform for. They'll stop doing it eventually because nobody will want to be around them or around those events,
Yeah. I've actually tuned live TV out completely. I don't watch any night newses. I don't watch any, and I haven't done that in, I don't know, probably 2 years now.
Yeah. Same here. And I know a lot of people are doing that. I mean, why do you want to pay for negativity that just brings you down? Right. And as we raise our frequency, we learn what will bring us down, and we don't want to go backwards.
Right.
Once you go up, you don't go backwards. You just keep going up. So that's another part of it that I understand. And if we can just get people to that point, then they understand,
Right. That's something through my, little bit of time trying to kick the negativity out of my life.
Right.
And to try to be a better person. And trust me, it's hard for me.
It's hard for anybody. We're all human. We all naturally, these negative things pop up, but I just replace it with too positive,
Well, and that's the thing, is that I've learned to look at the positive, and by taking these other things out of my life, kicking all of that negative stuff out of my life.
Right.
Notice that when someone comes in and they bring it in, I could feel the negativity when they bring it in, because like you said, once you raise that vibration a little bit and someone brings a lower vibration thing in, you could feel yourself just coming down to that level, and you're like, no, this is not what I want,
Exactly. And that doesn't mean you don't love some people, but it means you don't love being around them, because your energy and your frequency are yours, and you should never let someone take that from you.
Yeah. I call them energy vampires.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Energy vampires.
Yeah.
So does every human have this ability to ascend?
Yes.
Even the elite that you talk about, that are trying to hold us back and everything, do you think they have that ability, or are they a different?
They are standing on their last legs. They will have no power over this whatsoever. There will be, like what they were talking about. I keep Project Blue Book. It's not Project Blue Book, but the false alien attacks or something. They could try to pull something like that, but I think they realized that would be almost impossible to do, because now people are so aware of the illusions of things that we question everything as it is. I think they'd have a hard time pulling it off. And to be honest with you, people like me who are at a higher frequency, I would know if it was real or not, because if it's alien and they're near me, my frequency changes.
Right.
And, if it's fake, I'll know it's fake, and other people will too. I'm not the only person that would be able to figure it out. And it's just like, their craft are living conscious beings. we cannot fly their craft because they're a living conscious being. And the pilot who is genetically designed to fly them, his consciousness or her consciousness connects with the crafts, and they simply think where they want to go, and bam, they go. Wow. So, we can try to make ones that look like theirs, but it will not be exactly like theirs, and we cannot fly theirs.
That's interesting.
Because we don't, even our top psychics that work for government, they cannot do this because we are not a billion years up to their par in consciousness or that frequency. They are at a much, much higher frequency than we are. We cannot do that at this point. And I'll give you another example of the difference between humans and how you kind of know these things. You and I are sitting here talking on a laptop, okay? Mm-hmm. Our technology is a separate entity. It is not a part of us. It is a separate entity. I'm talking through the laptop. You're on y'all's laptops. In their reality, they are a billion years ahead of us. Mm-hmm. Their technology is their higher consciousness. It is not a separate entity. It is with them all the time. It is who they are. And they are not AI. They are biological.
Wow.
Yeah. So that'll give you an idea of, does that kind of give you an idea of like why the government?
Mm-hmm. Yes. What's that?
Yeah. And also why people have a hard time understanding and people, trying to rationalize and humanize these things, but there is nothing human about it.
Right.
We just have to accept we're not the top dog.
Right. Yeah. Well, I understand the rationalization because we was talking before the show, I've seen spirits my whole life, right? I've been able to see ghosts and stuff my whole life.
Yeah.
And so, that part of when people start talking about, well, I don't believe in ghosts and stuff, I just have to kind of take a step back because I know that they're real. I see them. But my wife had an experience a few months back where she was doing something during the day and she had a male's voice come to her and tell her something. I forgot what it was, but she could actually feel the breath in her ear and everything. And at the time I was still a long haul truck driver. I just recently stopped driving truck and she called me crying, and thinking she was going crazy and stuff. And I said, you got to stop crying. I said, you got to stop rationalizing something that is not rational. That is not a rational experience, and you cannot rationalize it because the second you rationalize it, the very fears that you're thinking, oh, am I crazy? Is something wrong with me? That's all you start feeling. You feel those fears and you feel the dread, but you can't use this mind or this rationality to understand things that aren't here,
Right.
That's just something that I've had to deal with my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do see though, like, like for example, have you ever tried to like put a name to the ghost or anything? Like,
no,
me, I don't either. See, I don't do that, but I'm trying to understand why people would do stuff like that, but I don't know.
For me, excuse me, we've had many psychics and stuff on the show and stuff, but I've always seen, I've never had one try to talk to me, or at least that I know of, or anything else, but I see them. I see them all the time. Used to have a little girl in a place that I lived that me and her played games with each other all the time. But there was no verbal communication at all,
Right.
So, I never got to that level.
It's amazing. But, I think people are going to start becoming more and more aware of this because they have proven to me that they can be in the room with me like right now, or they could be in the room with you right now. We simply don't see it, but that does not mean They're not there.
Right.
And they have literally taken a clock in front of me before that ran on batteries, and they'll move the hand to 4 o'clock, stop, and move it to 4 o'clock, stop, then move it around to 4 o'clock, because that was their way of showing me that just because we cannot see things does not mean there's not life going on all around us, you know. And then they showed me a vision when I was in Mexico with my son. They came for me one night and took me out on the deck of a cabin we were on, and they opened up a vision, and all of a sudden, or they opened up like a dimension, I guess, or whatever. And I could see trees talking, plants talking, animals, and all. They were all communicating and talking. So, you know, that's the main thing they want us to understand, that there's just because we don't see it doesn't mean. And they also explained to me that just because we don't see them in our skies and in our solar system, they're all over our skies and our solar system. They're not hiding from us. We just can't see it. Yeah.
Right. Our perception's just not there.
Right.
Yep. That makes
But
sense.
we're headed that way. And so everything is getting us ready for it. And, you know, all of this is a preparation, getting us ready for it so that our brains can handle these changes. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yep. So we're just a minute over or 2 minutes over
Oh,
now.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's fine. We would
like to
love to talk more about it. Maybe you can come on and do a 2-hour Saturday show sometime.
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah, I know Tennessee people can talk.
We're born. That's one thing we are born to do.
Yeah.
If you want to take this time to give out your website and maybe some advice, if you know, just whatever.
Yeah.
You want.
The website is timefordisclosure.com, and my Facebook group is timefordisclosure / we have never been alone / we are the disclosure, because I truly believe us human beings are the disclosure. We're unique and wonderful, and we're totally have a lot more qualities and parts of our DNA that is yet to be seen and activated. So I think that we are the true disclosure here, is understanding who we are, our potential, and who we are going to become. So I think we should all look within. You don't have to believe anybody, but believe in your subconscious and your soul self, and try to get in tune with it. And, you know, there's many ways of doing that. Just meditate to yourself, meditate to your subconscious, and ask it to open up into your human consciousness and help you, you know, to help you understand the world and the changes that we're facing, and help you to be the better version of yourself. So thank you for having me on the show. I love it, and I'd love to come back sometime.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
Thank you for all this knowledge, because I mean, that was a lot of knowledge.
Well, I hope so. That's what I'm here for.
Yes.
That's why I came to Earth, and everybody else is going to figure out why they're here too. And we can all play it. We are all a part of this. So everybody should get involved in your own way that you're comfortable with, but be a part. Yeah. Thanks again.
Thank you.
So
have a good night.
if you could hang on there, I'm going to put you on hold. Then when we get to the end of the show, I'd like to talk to you just a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Nancy Thames.
That was awesome.
Very good show. A lot of very good information.
It was just 1 hour went by so quick.
Yeah. We got to get her back for
blink your eyes and an hour's just gone. Right. I hope you enjoyed that, because I did. So that's something you might want to listen to 2 or 3 times just to make sure you got it all.
Yes.
Remember, you can find us at paranormal411.org. Oh yeah. Paranormal 411 on Facebook, YouTube, and X. You can tune in live every Tuesday and Thursday from 7 to 8. And on Saturdays from 8 to 10 Eastern Standard Time. Now on Saturday, 10 p.m. to 11. If you're in the metro Atlanta area, you catch us at WDJY FM. Now that's 99.1 FM. For listeners outside of Atlanta, you can visit us at wdjyfm.com, or you click the link on our website at paranormal411.org. We're also on Subspace Radio and all major podcast platforms. Remember, don't miss this beautiful book, East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore Edition 2. That's East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore Edition 2. It's available on Amazon or paranormal411.org. Join us.
Join us. We'll see you next time.
Have a good night.
Yes.
Saturday.